There's an incident that has happened in Kisii, Kenya, that is shocking to many people. It happened yesterday, and right now people are getting information. This incident can teach you something. It's a lady, it's now elderly, more than 50 years old. She has been educating her children. Others were lucky to go abroad. Others are in major towns unemployed. Her children were lucky to get jobs. Those ones who went to the US are doing well. They decided to surprise her, to gift her with houses or a house, a decent modern house. So 3 years ago, they started building the houses. They have built 2 houses in the compound, and by last year, they had finished the house, the second house. Toward the end of last year, the lady occupied the house. She used to live in a mud house, and now she's living in the permanent house, which is very beautiful. It is built in the ancestral land in the village. Yesterday night, people visited the home, strangers. What they did, they broke into the house and they ended the life of that lady. After doing that, they took some petrol and lit some fire, and she was burnt alive, burnt after being eliminated. And that is how the story ended. They don't know what was the motive because they did not steal anything. All electronics are there, everything is there, even the money that was in that house is there, and they disappeared. So it happens, especially in the village, and it's a lesson to many people. You know, in Africa, especially villages, we have people who are full of jealousy. When you're not doing well, they're very happy for you, they're comfortable with you. But the moment you get opportunities and you start rising and growing past even them, they will never feel comfortable with you. That is what happens. When you get fortunate to go abroad and start making money, you know, there's that feeling of wanting to change your home. But before you change your home, you have to look at the surrounding, the environment there. If there is no single permanent house, you should not be the first person to build that big house if you're not going to provide security. And there's a quote which says, you should not be the only rich person in a poor neighborhood. So, in that village of yours, just look around and see how many permanent houses are there. If people are living in abject poverty, you can go elsewhere where people are well off, buy some land, and build a house for your parents, a decent one, based on the standards in that place. Then you can't be the outlier in that place. So that is one mistake most people make. Even those people who go to the US, who go to major towns and get good jobs. You have to look at the environment in the village. Of course, you can build, you can risk, but sometimes, have you heard stories where someone starts building a house and before completing it, he dies? Before occupying that house, they die. That one comes from the jealous people in the village, and it's very common, especially in those parts of Kisii and even Ukambani, even lowland, even Luyaland, some of those places, it happens. They might not even eliminate you through witchcraft, but they can eliminate you through other means. They can even, there's a case I had. Someone had purchased a very good vehicle and they went home during Christmas time. While sleeping at night, people came and touched that vehicle. He just woke up at night and found that the vehicle is in ashes. That is what happened. It's because of jealousy. So when your life changes, there are things you should also change. You should also know how to behave when you go to the village. One of the things you should avoid is food. When you go to the village, avoid visiting every village, every home, and eating anything you are given. Especially if you are doing very well and people know that. Avoid, just eat in your house, in your mother's house, and go out there. If they give you food, tell them I'm okay. At least you can take something like avocado. You take home, you go so that they can be ripened there. But taking food unnecessarily, no. Also, this also another case. These are things that can help you in the streets. This was another case. Someone had come from town. He went to visit village during festive season. Now, that excitement, it was the first time he was visiting the village. He had stayed in town for many years. So he was visiting the village after many years. He was excited. So he met the people, the age mates whom we left there, the schoolmates, and everybody, even neighbors, age mates. So they went to drink. Very happy, buying drinks to those people. He did not make it. After buying those drinks, he also got drunk, and on the way home, they eliminated him. So you have to know how to behave once your status change. That's why you find when someone becomes a millionaire, they even change their friends. Even if you used to be his friend, best friend, for you to access them, you must get appointment. It's not easy. It's not that they are proud, it is because they want to safeguard their peace. They want to have those boundaries so that you cannot know their movements. And that's why some of those rich people isolate themselves. Another thing is to change the environment. If you are living in a very small estate, all of a sudden your salary increases, you are earning 50,000, now start earning 500,000. Should not continue living there because that increase is drastic. Go from that 50,000 to 100,000 rent. It's better to be safe for spending higher on rent. So That is normally what happens when you get more money, when your status change, you attract enemies. They increase in numbers. The more you grow, the more enemies you attract on the way. And eventually, if you don't take care, you'll never live long. So that's why you'll find people who are rich are very lonely. They live in lonely environments. They have very few friends. And normally, they walk alone. They are very careful what they eat. It is because they have gathered enemies, not because they offended them. It is because of their progress.